Miss Skylar Faith, what episode are we on?
31.
31. Fantastic.
Hi, welcome to Randy's Facebook Live, episode 31. 31?
You finally did it.
Wow, I finally did it. Finally got to 31. I wonder what we get when we reach 100. Do we get balloons fall from the ceiling and confetti? You would love that. You would totally love that. Yeah. Hi, thanks for checking in with us tonight on this Monday. And why do I know that it's Monday? Because I'm looking at my Facebook page, which says that it's Monday. And it's poetry night. You guys are in for such a treat tonight. Woo! So listen, for those of you that might be tuning in for the first time, let me tell you what happened here. So when I decided we were going to do a live Facebook event, I decided that I'm not using that yet. I decided that we were going to do an event every night from my home. We were going to go Facebook Live for 40 minutes, and we were going to try to connect with people. It was a way to form community, to reach across the airwaves, the sound waves, all the waves, and to let people know that we love them and that we were thinking about them, and to kind of let people know some issues that might be going on in the world, to relay information. And then selfishly, a way for me to check in with my friends all over the country, all over the world, to make sure that they're okay. Made me feel better to be able to do that. We didn't know how long this would go, but we were committed to trying to do it every night, and we've been doing it for 31 nights, and so here we are, after about maybe, woo, Sky!
Maybe we should have if we ever get to 51, we should have balloons. So every 50 episodes.
I love it.
50 balloons?
I love it, 50 balloons.
We'll just fill the room with balloons.
That's
Oh.
awesome. She loves that idea.
Balloon night.
Yeah.
Balloon night.
That's going to go over well when they start hopping. So we decided we would do themes when we realized that we needed to start, coming up with content and getting more creative. So we have kids night, and we have 80s night, and we have cooking night, and so tonight is poetry night, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. I'm Randi Driscoll, singer-songwriter. My husband, Andrew McGinnis, is my cameraman.
Hello, hold on.
You're doing a great job, honey.
Bing!
There you are. And my daughter, Skylar Faith, is my audience of one. And I like to also call her my stage manager because she keeps us on track. She lets us know what's happening, and I really appreciate that. Let's see who's on with us tonight. I always like to check in and see who's doing what. Who's here? Oh, Kevin's on. Hi, Nat. You're here. Sandra's on. Jersey's in the house. Sefa is on. I hope I said that correctly. If you're new to waving and saying hello, please do. It's fun for us to see who's on. And also, just so you know, we have a delay, so you might be on, but we might not see you. Hi, Erie, Pennsylvania. So it's great when you also share it. Thanks, Sandra, for sharing. You can do a watch party, so you can share it on your page, and other people can watch. And it's my understanding that then they can comment, too, on your page. So it's really a nice way to engage. And we also put these episodes up on YouTube.
I love when you say we.
No, my husband edits them and puts them up on YouTube the following day with a lot of little information about the content and links to the people we had on as guests. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd love for you to do that, because if we get a certain number of subscribers, then that allows us to maybe stream on more platforms. But Facebook Live's been working great for us, so and we appreciate y'all checking in. So today, what did we do today? Here we go. This is my favorite part. We start this way every night, pretty much. So today we did yard work and gardening outside with Dad. How was that? Was that fun? Did you just put a goldfish in your mouth? Yeah. Okay. Are you chewing? See, this is the thing about letting the audience. I don't feel like Oprah ever let the audience have
Well, this
snacks.
is live TV, too.
I don't feel like Ellen let her audience have snacks.
No,
I just don't believe that. No, but I know it's different here. My audience of one, you can have snacks. So we did yard work, we did gardening, Daddy mowed the lawn, that was awesome. I saw you out there with the hedge clippers. It was funny because I was so scared when you said she was clipping the hedges, but you had mini ones, so I'm not scared anymore. Was that fun? It was nice out today,
Yeah.
right? It was beautiful.
I might have used the big ones.
You might have used the big ones
You
a
did.
little bit, but that's okay.
You did a good job.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, Anna. Hi, Lizzie. Woohoo! Okay, also, you had Seth teach you math today. You had math with Seth. Okay, so this is what we've been doing. If you haven't seen this part either, when I figured out that I was suddenly going to be a homeschooling teacher, mom, I was like, oh, this is so great, so fun. And also, who else can I make do this with us? So we have creative electives during the afternoon. We call Skylar's friends all over the country, her aunties, her uncles, godparents, friends, everyone, and they do all kinds of things. Science class, reading class, language arts, acting, music. It's insane. And so today, you really just put another goldfish in? Okay, your timing
is impeccable.
Can you maybe chew and swallow and tell the audience what you did on math today? You did math. Math with Seth, not Seth with math. Well, a little bit of both. Hi, Seth. Math man. Okay, I'll answer it.
Okay.
We had a bunch of pennies, and then you did grouping. You basically did division and multiplication, right? Was it fun?
It wasn't real. Yeah, it was technically that, but you did it in a different way, so you would think it was plusing, but it was actually division when you didn't know that. So when your teacher tells you it is, just listen to it and you'll figure out what it is.
Okay.
There you go.
That's
Words to live by.
Math is fun. Math is really fun. Musicians love math, by the way. Most of us. Okay, so tonight you're in for a treat. We have a really neat thing that we're doing tonight. We're touching base with some poets that I know, and I was thinking so much about different theme nights and what I wanted to do. And you know, poetry is not all that far from lyrics and lyricisting. That's not a word. I like words. Let's just say that. And so before I introduce my guest this evening, I thought that I would tell you a little bit about the song that I chose to sing. It's a song that I wrote when my Nana passed away. And you know Nana because I talk about her cooking and I talk about her food and I talk about her big personality. She's a big part of my life, raised me for a long time in that 2-story house in New Jersey. And it was really odd because I used music as a form of therapy. I always turn to my keyboard. I always turn to words to try to help me through everything that happens in my life. The good, the bad, the in-between, the gray, the ugly, the fun, the not so fun. And this was the first time in my life that I found myself sort of unable to write anything. I thought that was cruel, that I couldn't make anything come out. I couldn't put a word on the page. And I thought about that seriously and what it's like to have that happen when you're sort of having writer's block at a critical time in your life. So this song came out, and I'm going to sing it tonight. Well, I always saw it coming. I was waiting on the rain, and I could hear the distant drumming of the army's soft refrain. Well, I thought I kept you hidden, but one fateful night they came. And now this mistress of words, This carpenter of verse, the painter of lines, tell me what is happening now. And every time I sing, I cry. It's just that no song's good enough. There's no words good enough. No tune, no chorus good enough. There's no song good enough this time.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Thanks, girl. That's no song. And so I know some people have been saying that one of the things they like about this little thing I'm doing is a little story behind the song. So here's the second part of that story. So obviously I got a song finally out of it, and I called it No Song because I couldn't find the words to write the song. And then I got pregnant. So Nana died right before I got pregnant with Skylar Faith. And so unfortunately you never got to meet Nana. Oh, she would have loved you. She would have loved you. And you're so much like her. It's just uncanny. But I was on bed rest for a while with Skylar Faith, and I got an email that I was a finalist for this contest for, I think it's Song of the Year, and in this particular category. And so that was great because I wasn't really able to tour at all, and then I didn't hear anything back, and I figured that was probably nothing, nothing was going to come of it. So but then I had Skylar Faith July 31st. I was in the hospital for a couple days because that's what you do. You rest after you have a baby, and came back to my house, read an email that came in on July 31st of the year that you were born. That song, Nana's song, had won that contest. I thought that was what I like to call a God email. So sweet story. Yeah. So tonight you're in for a treat. I have 3 guests for you. I was thinking today about words, and we always try to highlight a charity or talk about a nonprofit or something that's important to us. And so tonight I just want to talk about books and reading, and how I know so many libraries are not open right now, but a lot of libraries all over the country are doing curbside service. Can you believe that? And if they can't do that, they're finding ways to put things online. It's really quite amazing. And so tonight, I'm just really talking about how important the written word is, and when I was thinking about that and how we're doing so much reading now. I mean, I've seen so many posts, and I'm sure you have too, on social media of people saying, I'm reading a book, I haven't read a book in 5 years, and I'm reading books. So I just thought about that, and I thought I want to have a poetry night, and I love poetry, and I love wine and poetry. So I'm going to do this because tonight we have a very special segment. That's a little Pinot Noir to go with my poetry. Tonight we have a really special segment that was pre-recorded. What? Are we fancy schmancy over here? We got fancy. Thank you, Andrew. You did a lot of work today. And the reason is because we have 3 poets that we're featuring, and they're all from different parts of the country, and you get to right. Think about that, and you'll get to
parts of the continent,
right? Oh yeah, and you'll get to meet them, listen to their beautiful words, and I know you're going to enjoy it as much as I am. So, cheers! A little poetry and wine. Let me share this on my other page real fast while we do this.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. It's Pinot Noir. Okay.
Well, it's wine, right?
Yeah, it's nice. And you can come in and do this, and I'll share.
Yeah. So you kick back, relax, and oh, there's me. Look at that.
So hello friends, I'm so happy to have all of you on with me here tonight for our very special Poetry and Music edition of Randi's Facebook Live, the Social Isolation edition. Thanks for being here. So let me start with the beautiful Lizzie Wann. Lizzie, where are you calling in from tonight?
I am in La Mirada, California.
And how are things in your part of California?
Not too bad. I've been, doing all the things you're supposed to do, so things are pretty okay for us. In my actual city, there's like 31 cases, I think, so it's not too bad, but in California as a whole is doing fairly well, fairly well as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad that you're safe. I'm glad that you're okay. Okay, so then down here, right below me, the pretty bunch. Andrew, where are you calling in from today? And say your name properly for me, because I never say it correctly. McFadyen-Ketchum? Am I close?
How do you say it? It should be part of a segment.
It should be part of it's part of our bit, right? Andrew McFadyen-Ketchum?
Well, it's weird. There's really no way to get it right.
So I was always gonna have it wrong.
There's really no way. It's McFadyen.
Oh yes, that's right.
And I don't really know why. And so it's McFadyen-Ketchum. So McFadyen.
I feel like we had this discussion at the Christmas party because Andrew immediately heard gin in your name, and he was like, "That's how you remember it."
When I used to teach, and I still teach sort of, but not the same way I used to. I teach online now, but in person, when I teach my name, I'd say it's McFadyen, like the drink. And of course, all the college kids.
I feel like visual really helps. I'm really glad you did that.
Yeah.
Well, where are you calling in from today in your beautiful outdoor setting? So where are you?
I'm in the backyard of my girlfriend's house in Nashville, Tennessee. And it's a beautiful day.
It is, right? I know.
The first 2 or 3 weeks of this fiasco, it was dreary.
So dreary.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was like going on hikes and, major storms.
Yeah, I feel like a little sun goes a long ways. I really, honestly, you're sort of like, okay, maybe I can cope today. And so how are you guys doing with all of this social isolation? How are things in your, neck of the woods?
Overall, pretty well. I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit that I just woke up and it's 11 o'clock.
No shame.
But I mean, I'm just exhausted. We have 3 kids, and we sort of rotate them with the grandparents. We never have all 3 of us, but we just finished having the 2 boys, and apparently it just knocked us out. So we just had to sleep.
I hear you.
So I woke up for that.
Thank you for waking up for this. Okay, and Nat, where are you calling in from? Because it's not here in the USA. Where are you calling in from today, Nat?
I am calling in from Toronto, Canada.
Yes. And you are actually, if I can say this, you're on a lunch break right now from your digital job, I would assume, right?
Yes, yeah. So just kind of getting used to working from home. That's been a big adjustment. But I feel like I'm slowly but surely adapting. And I had a great writing session this weekend. So continually writing new poetry, which is exciting. And just kind of taking things day by day and doing the best that I can and giving love where I can to friends and being a good support system where I can.
Thank you. We need that. And how are things in Toronto? What's it like in Toronto?
Everyone's been really cooperative. I feel like everyone's been really doing the social distancing, and when I go to grocery stores, everyone's been behaving really appropriately and really great.
I like that. Well, I love Toronto. I love the city. I did a Pride Festival there. I've done shows there, and they're wonderful people. And I just feel like they get it done. I just feel like they know how to. It's a lot of people in a lot of cities, so I'm not surprised they're behaving. And then Nat, also, can you say your name correctly for me too, so that I don't mess it up?
You said it correctly, so it's Nat.
And your last name?
Bourgon.
Bourgon. Okay. All right. I've got it now. I've got it. All right. So, well, you're all on this evening to share some of your beautiful poetry with us, some of your words. So, I'm going to start with the lovely Lizzie. Would you share something for our audience? We would love it.
Sure. This is something new. I'm participating in April's National Poetry Month. So there's a challenge out there to write a poem a day, every day in April. So I'm doing that. So this is one that I just wrote last week. Gardeners of Los Angeles. I walk in my neighborhood now that trails are closed. There are others walking or running. We keep our required distance from each other, though still offer a good morning or just a wave or nod. But there are those who are working outside. City employees cutting park lawns, hanging new street signs. There are also private gardeners. I can't help but think they have the right idea. Their job is outside and generally solo. They have equipment to cover their faces. They wield their machines with grace to keep grass mowed, hedges trimmed, leaves blown, flowers blooming. It may not be governmentally essential, but it's essential to them that they work. They probably never thought they had a pandemic-proof job. I cling to this relatively normal aspect of life in this decidedly abnormal point in history. I find balance in our backyard where my mother's garden flourishes. Chamomile standing tall with sunnyside flowers, pretty pansies, bountiful pentha, buzzing lavender full of bees, geraniums raging with spring color. Big planter set in the bowl of a former bird bath holds the promise of strawberries. I can't wait to taste their wild sweetness.
It's perfect.
Oh, thank you.
It's really perfect. You see my rose that I cut this morning from my rosebush, Andrew? Speaking of good weather in Nashville, that was like a big, I don't know, I've never been so excited to see a rose on my rosebush. I was like, oh, it's perfect. It's really perfect. And so my next question was going to be, what inspired you to write that? But I think it's right there in the words, right? I mean, it's very current and it's very now. And so doing this challenge, has it been helpful for you to kind of challenge yourself to write something a day?
Oh, for sure. It's
Yeah.
very, very difficult. And it's hard to not be all about the pandemic, right? So I'm trying to think of other things to write about. I'm looking at prompts from different sources. So I have probably half and half.
Yeah, I bet. Well, it's perfect. And it really just made me think so much. And of course, I'm a person who's like to live in a whole lot of zip codes. I just try them all out, And so I'm back to sort of the place that you were, when you were talking about that and then thinking about outside. So thank you for sharing that. I know that it's going to touch a lot of people. So let's do Andrew next. Andrew, would you share something with us?
Sure. So this is my second book of poems.
Yes.
It came on March 12th of this March.
Yes, of this March, yes.
This one. Yeah.
So no book release in person yet, right?
Yeah, I could have gone to this big conference of writers that was on March. It was like 8 to 10 or something, and I was supposed to release the book there. Something about it just made me be like, I just have a feeling this is going to be a lot worse than people are realizing. So we didn't go to this big conference, and interestingly enough, after a few of us started saying, we're not going to the conference, all of a sudden everybody wasn't going to the conference. It was this sort of ballooning. I have not had a book release for this, and I've had to cancel all sorts of things, and it's a bummer. So this is wonderful. Thank you for having me. I'm going to read the second poem in the book. This is called Smith Lake. We wanted to touch the moon, that flash bulb that bobbed on the heat-glazed pane of Smith Lake. So we dove, Mary and I, fully clothed from the dock, paddled slowly that body of water as chorus frogs and crickets boomed back and forth from the reed-thick shore. There, at the lake's dead center, we joined arms, our bodies ringing the moon's reflection. Treading water, Mary cupped her palms beneath that beacon, lifted it to my lips, and said, "Drink." And what could I do but follow when Mary sidestepped buoyancy and dove beneath the moon, dropped easily through zones of cold and colder water, the frogs slicked star vines and hydrilla swaying heavily in the drifts, her hair held suspended by the water's 100 hands. If only I could go back to the moon's conception, when it first broke free of the earth to fly that first tethered orbit around the world. If only I could tell the jade rabbit's story, trace its outline from ridgelines and craters like the man in the moon, that hair, legend says, grinding herbs in an urn for the immortals, that moon returned to its rightful station overhead. I want you to see Mary making small motions with her hands to keep from rising as we held our breaths, who knows how long until she rose, thick ribbons of reeds unraveling from her ankles. Mary surfacing so slowly, It was as if she climbed not water, but sky. Mary backlit by darkness. Mary slipping into the moon.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. And what I really love about you, well, not just reading the poem, but also talking about the release of your book and talking about how, just the honesty about you were planning this big reveal, right, of this book, and that didn't happen. And it's interesting to hear your perspective about how, you were joking that, this could be a thing, and now we know that this turned into this enormous thing, and you're having to find a way to have your poetry now released basically in other ways, like online. So I love when you read. I was thinking back to when you and Lizzie actually were at my home and we did the house concert with the poetry, and it's great. I really get lost when you start reading your poetry. So thank you so much for sharing that. It's beautiful. And I know that you'll have great success with this. And at the end of this, we're going to talk about where we can all buy that book and support our local poets and our local writers and stuff. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm glad that you're safe and healthy. Okay, Nat, will you close us out here with one of your poems and tell us a little about it?
Absolutely, yes. So this one's called The Dream Revised, and it's from my second poetry collection, Fortitude Transplants. You rephrased the denotation of my dream, so it sounded better than I could ever have drafted. I used to envision projecting my resolve on stage to wordsmith disciples. They would raise a toast to my startling terminology and recite vows to wed the anomaly whisked into my words, completely taken with my creative discourse, but wouldn't help me find the sidekick of calibration meant to take my hand. Smitten with my script, but wouldn't support me with smudging my stable single status to get in uniformity's way and instigate a change. They would laud the creation while understating the creator, relegating me to chronic bachelor with talent, a once deemed innovator downsized to an afterthought of indifference, by the threshold of perception's thunderous yet flighty speech. But now fate has asked for an edit of my eventuality. You modified the screenshot of my future from a pact to a present, with your conversational arrows that I can candidly follow right to fun's veranda, that looks out upon your fresh garden of wild grins, well nourished by the juice of your scoot, with your quirky antics that renegotiate play's peak hourly, and our peppery banter that has raised the bar for what I expect from myself, for what I want from my life. At my next book launch, if my wits grow disheveled and I punctually misplace my spot on the page, I'll just think of all the memories we have yet to meet, of how we'll never stop gathering trust, like we never stop gathering rationale to revamp our goals, so they are more aligned with our maturing values, so we can grasp any inhibiting knowledge gap that needs to be bridged or snipped. Of the way you enunciate Nat from low pitch to high, as if my name is etched in potential's font, as though you already recognize my value before tweaking the typeface style of my words to bold, as though you knew you couldn't reproduce my responsiveness to you in another, as though you socialized with my flaws and then didn't evade eye contact. You're the illustrator of my favored life layout. You author plans like I author books, proactively, enthusiastically. You're the momentum in the walks I hope we'll wander off on, after the bickering bugs barter bites for manners. Blessed out by a drought of deliverables, owing nothing, appreciating in entirety how mutuality became an insomniac. Wired on stolen glances instead of caffeine, caught by some skillful sleuthing, and our teamwork, a homemade parfait of well-stirred yapping improvising for yogurt. You're the game changer of my romantic prognosis. You're the page turner of my bestseller choices.
I liked it. I liked it. It was kind of perfect with what we were talking about right before we started this whole thing. Well, one of the reasons that I brought you into this conversation is because I know you as a writer who has reviewed a couple of my CDs, and I was saying right before we started the interview that I was like, I wrote that song he's talking about. Wait, I wrote that song because wow, that's good. You really have a great way with words. And then I found out that you were releasing poetry as well. So this has been a really great way for me to, go international, because we're international now. So you're all such wonderful writers. So let's start with Lizzie. What do you have online, and what can we purchase of yours?
So I have a book that was released last year called The Hospice Bubble and Other Devastating Affirmations. And it is available. It was released through Puna Press, and it is distributed from AK Press. So you can go to akpress.org to find the book.
Fantastic. Thank you for telling us that. And Andrew, tell us about your books.
You can find them on andrewmk.com. M as in mother. It's sort of swallowed in there. Just click on visiting hours at the top banner thing. And then you can buy it from me specifically. It's very easy. You just enter in your credit card info, or you can do Venmo. It's very simple. I'll sign it. I'll wash my hands. I'll sign it. I'll send a moon button as well. I got really obsessed with taking pictures of the moon last year, and the press used photographs of mine throughout the book and on the cover.
Oh, cool.
These little buttons that you can put on your shirt or backpack or whatever, and I can send it to you.
Okay, I love it. That's great. Okay. And then what about you, Nat? Do you have anything online that we can read or buy or support you or follow you?
Yes, so I have 2 books that are up on Amazon.com under my name, Nat Bourgon. The first one's called Overcast Backtalk, and the second one is called Fortitude Transplants.
Awesome. Okay, got it. And I'll put all of these links also underneath when we do the little recaps and when we show, when Andrew does it. Andrew does all of it. So when husband puts these all up on YouTube, all of your links will be in there too. Okay, so when I do these interviews with people from all over, I like to ask 3 questions. And the reason that I do it is because I like to get different people's perspectives. There's 3 questions, there's 3 of you, so I'll just give each, I'll mix it up, I'll go in a different order. Let's start with Nat. What would you say has been the hardest part of this time of social isolation? What's been the hardest part for you?
I think the hardest part for me is living on my own. So just kind of not having a chance to have the usual quality in-person time with friends. I really miss that. But I've been really trying to look to other ways through connecting with others digitally, and I feel like every time I've done that, a big smile has come across my face, and I felt very connected with my friends, which is good.
Yes, I agree. That's been, for the 31 episodes we've done, so many people have said that, and we especially feel for the people that are isolated alone, and because they're doing the right thing, and so it's a completely different, it's very different than what Andrew is experiencing with these small children in the house. So yeah, but I feel you totally. Okay, well then now we have to go to Andrew. So Andrew, what would you say, we flip it upside down, if there is, knowing, understanding this is a very difficult time for the world, and people are hurting, but for you, if you could look at the bright side, the silver lining, what would be the silver lining in this time that we're experiencing?
Let's always look at the bright side of life, right? The silver lining. I mean, I hate to be so positive, but there's been a lot of them.
Please be positive. We love it.
Yeah, the best answer is, and I feel badly for Nat because it's the opposite answer, and it's all the time I've gotten to spend with my kids and with Karen. I'm adopted into the family, so I'm not actually dad. I'm stepdad, and we're not even married yet, so I don't even know if I'm stepdad. I don't know what to even call myself, but I'm stepdad. And
right now, you are absolutely quarantine dad. We know that. So
yeah. And I feel like I'm getting to catch up a little bit and just really get to know the kids and helping them through this time is awesome. It's hard. I mean, you know, there's like good days and bad days, but like, or not even good days and bad days, like good minutes and bad minutes, you know. But yeah, just having that time to slow down, and we both work from home, and it's you know, complex making it all work. But when they go back to school and we go back to work, I know I'm going to be crying at my desk. Like, I'm not kidding. I'll be glad and sad at the same time.
Yep.
It's really hard, really, really hard.
Very, very honest. I think a lot of people are experiencing that, and it's just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's really awful in some ways and really wonderful in others, and it's just completely wrecked the whole doggone method you had of living before, and who knows if you can go back, you know?
Yep. So it's a reboot.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really honest perspective. So I'm really glad that you're healthy and have that time with your family. Okay, so then my beautiful Miss Lizzie, you get the last question of the 3, which is, what have you learned at this time in these however 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks that we've been going through this? What have you learned?
Wow. I've learned that I really love my mom, and I love my friends who are talented and who are doing everything they can to still make a living, most of whom are musicians. I've learned that a lot of people understand what's going on, and a lot of people don't. So I hope the ones that don't can figure it out.
Super honest perspective. Yep, truth, and can I get an amen? Yes. It's hard to believe that at this stage where we are, there are still some people that maybe don't quite understand, but that's okay. You know, we just have to hope it's not okay, but we're just, you know, positive. What'd you say, Andrew? Hate to be positive. Let's be positive. That everyone's gonna just get on board and do the right thing, you know. So, but I'm so happy to be able to see all of your faces and know that you're okay and know that you're making it work, and that everyone, you know, the neatest thing is everyone's finding a way to like just do it. Whatever it is you do, just finding a way to do it. So thanks for sharing your beautiful words. I will make sure that the people listening have a way to find you and get to more of your beautiful words. And as soon as this all is over and we can do another house concert poetry reading at my house, let's do that. Let's gather together. Yeah, because I loved having you here. So please be well and take care. You're in my heart, and big thanks for doing this tonight. Okay, on our poetry night. Woo! Beautiful words.
Thank you.
I love you guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Your music is so like impactful to me, and it's been with me through this journey so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, that was my friends. I have the best friends. So, I wrote this today, and I'm just gonna go back to it. Sometimes you feel like you don't have the words, and they have the words. They always have the words. Before all this happened, we were doing house concerts, and I was doing poetry, and music and wine nights at my home, and it was just really fun. And I know we'll be doing more. We have friends who are authors. We have friends who have released books, children's books. So the artists are so important right now. And I love that more people are reading. I just think that's the coolest thing. And so my dear friends are going to put their links up right on this site.
Some have already done it.
Some have already done it because they know what they're doing. They're on top of it. And you can find it. And they're, you can find their books, their poetry books. I want to do a special shout out though right now to Andrew McGinnis. Your camera work, your steady cam, you honey, your editing, your it was a lot. A lot is going into this. We're working all day on these shows, so no, you did great. That was a great segment, and you can see now why we had to do it pre-recorded because Nat was calling in from Toronto. So we had Canada by way of California, by way of Nashville, by way of Nashville. So it was really cool to have my friends on. God bless them. I'm so happy they were here. We have a great show for you tomorrow. We have a great show. Oh, Wednesday we're going to do Earth Day. Woo, we're going to celebrate Mother Earth. I feel like everyone is celebrating Mother Earth right now. And we're going to do it from our room right here with lots of amazing interviews and lots of guests. It's going to be super cool. Fun Friday is here. And Saturday is our next, what? Kids show! Woo-hoo! Are you excited about that, Skylar Faith? I am. I'm so excited.
What?
I don't know who's FaceTiming us.
We don't know yet.
So if you we'll have all the poets' information in there, and I just love the honesty. I love checking in with them. I love hearing about Lizzie with her comment about her mom. I almost started crying. Nat, being in Toronto, working online, but also trying to find different ways to reconnect because he's alone. Andrew's comments about his book release. We spoke for like almost 40 minutes. We were jibber jabbering for a long time. So Andrew did a wonderful job of editing. Andrew did a wonderful job of editing that. But we talked a lot about him not being able to do this big book release because he was actually feeling a little bit sick and wasn't sure what he had, and did the right thing by staying home, and then it was canceled. And so the artists out there are having to make decisions because so many things that artists do, as you know, involve other people. It's kind of what we do. We connect, and we can't do that right now. So I guess in closing, thanks for letting me spend this time with you, and I'm glad you got to meet my friends, and I'm glad that we can do this, and I'm so grateful that we are able to be here in these four walls, that we can spend this time with you. We never take it for granted that we're safe and that we're healthy, and God bless all of the workers out there. God bless all of the people that are doing their best to make sure that we're safe, so stay home if you are able. Thanks to all of the people on the front lines, and remember, your vibe attracts your tribe, and we love our tribe. Have a great night, okay? Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.